Welcome to this episode, number 1 of So You Want to Be a Coach. This episode I'm here with my wonderful partner, Leanne Lisbon. She is also the founder of Mind Over Muffin, and we have set up a couple of businesses together. And the whole series of So You Want to Be a Coach is to help good people build businesses that do good in the world. But in order to do that, we've got to be able to see through the bullshit that stops most people from getting there. And this episode, we're going to be getting into the money traps, this instant money formula of just follow this system and you'll earn 6 figures, 7 figures. Why that's such a big trap and what you can do to avoid it and actually build a business that does some real good in the world. So this instant money formula of just follow this system and before you know it, you'll be earning 6-figure months or 7-figure years is being pushed by so many business coaches and thought leaders from, the old advertising campaigns done in front of your Lamborghini or in front of a house that you don't own and never will. It's setting you up for failure before you even begun.
A lot of people are sold into the coaching space when, you get, ideally you want to get into that so you can work with the people you want to work with, you can help them change their lives, you can help them work on whatever it is that you are an expert in, but you're sold into this concept of, join this program and make this much, X amount of money, and before you realise it, you're totally off track of what you got into coaching for, and it all becomes about the money. So if you have been sold into one of these, get rich quick overnight schemes, if you like, make X amount in a week, then no, it's okay because money does sell. That's why that marketing angle does work. But just let yourself off the hook. Like, we've all been there, we've all done it, but then it's just bringing it back to why are you doing this? Why are you in this space? Why do you want to be a coach? Really bring it back to that.
The onus is on you to really take that responsibility. We've all been conditioned into this idea of external validation and that money is going to show that you're worthy. That's not, it doesn't matter if you've fallen for that in the past. It doesn't matter if you're still there now. What matters is that you pull it back to you, and that is what's going to make your business as successful as possible. The money is going to be secondary, and when it is, the good that you can do is just exponential.
We're driven by, a lot of pressure as well that we see on social media of people achieving these big, what seems like these big money goals, and it all becomes about the money, and before you know it, you just completely lost what you ever got into coaching for in the first place.
And I think the biggest shift that we've had as our financial kind of growth has happened is that it actually doesn't mean anything. You don't feel any different. You don't get that success feeling or that worth feeling from the financial goals, but that's what you're constantly sold into. So when you get there, there's almost a kind of anticlimactic, empty feeling of, oh, but I thought this was what it was about.
Totally, yeah.
Then, so what is it? What is it that's going to fulfill you? So this is, if you can switch everything around from the get-go and know that it's the people who you're going to help, it's the lives you're going to touch, it's the messages that you get and the connections that you make with clients and all that amazing stuff that's actually going to fulfill you, that will allow you to stick at the game long enough so you actually get the financial goals. Because I think one of the things that we both see most of all is that this falsehood of just follow the system, it'll be easy, and then when you either don't, because you haven't stuck with it for long enough, because you haven't actually had the staying power, because there's no real grounding in why you're doing it, and you think if those financial figures aren't showing up then you're not successful, or you've got the financial figures but you have to strip it back to, cool, so what is this really about, because it's fucking worthless how we're doing it.
And business is hard behind the scenes. Like, we're sold, you see it so much on social media, we're sold this perception that it should be easy to make this money, it should just happen like this, and it's not. Like, there is a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, and that's another big element that people are not talking about. And I think it's very easy to get yourself, like Rick was just saying, in that cycle of, I haven't achieved this yet, and I'm not there yet, and you're constantly putting yourself down, which is going to be one of the things that actually stops you creating the money if that is what you want, because you can't get in your creative zone. You're just stuck in this kind of space of, I'm not doing enough, I'm not creating enough, I'm not making enough. And again, you're just losing kind of the connection to why you got into it in the first place. And I really think that if you get, obviously you want to make money in business, the business is, you've got to have some kind of financial reward to create the life you want. We get that. But if you're in it just for the money, you're not going to stick it long term, because it's not a quick overnight success. It's not how it works, you know. So I think, yeah.
But that's the issue with the rise of the social media stuff, is that that's what you see. The perception is that this has just happened, this just fell into their lap, or it's easy for them because, just like we said in the intro episode. And it's bullshit. It's not possible for you to go from 0 to 7 figures like that. And if you do it, you're going to have problems along the way. It's not going to be cool. All this money has happened and it's just everything's perfect. What you don't see is that your turnover is one thing, but then you've got your profit, you've got your cash flow. There's all these different elements to do with the finances. Now, I'd much rather have a way lower turnover and more cash flow, more profit, than I would have a really, really high turnover but huge expenditure, because that's all the fucking pressures anyway.
Yeah.
But that's not what they talk about. You're not talking about the actual what's going to put the money in your bank. It's just this big flashy fucking figure, and it doesn't mean that you're happy. It doesn't mean that your business is succeeding even just because you've got huge turnover. We see heaps of businesses in our fields and they've got massive turnover, but they've got fucking enormous expenses and they're stressed to fuck because it's just not sustainable.
And the money's not in the bank. Seven figures business doesn't mean 7 figures sat in your bank, which is a bit of a perception that people have. And it doesn't mean more security either. I think that was something that I really thought was, when I hit 6 figures, then I'm going to feel safe, then I feel like, everything's flowing, then I'm going to feel successful, then I'm going to feel like I really made it. And it happens, and actually you don't feel any different, because it's not the money that is going to bring you those things. That, business is like one of the biggest personal development growth journeys you're ever going to go on. And in order for you to bring in the money that you want to create, then you have to up level, you have to grow, you have to make those shifts in yourself to do that. And so even when there are these kind of freak overnight successes, then you haven't created the development in yourself to deal with that anyway. So it's more important to do it the other way around, in my opinion.
And when we in Life Empowerment Project had a big spike in our growth, there was so many things, and this is what rarely gets discussed. There were so many things that I wasn't prepared for. I wasn't prepared. We didn't have the systems in place to really sustain that. I was fucking exhausted because of the growth that we'd had and the work that was going into it. So even I would much prefer if I could go step by step and go steady and create sustainable growth than I would kind of create this up and down. But that's not to say that because you've had these big win months that's now going to be the norm either, and that's what people start to expect. And again, cool, but well, I did that once, so why can't I just do it again? That's the personal stuff that has to come in. That's the growth that's going to happen. And as coaches, we fucking know this, and yet we cannot apply that logic to our own business. Because that's what we see all around us, is that it should just be easy. You should have all this stuff and your life is fucking amazing. But it's a constant journey of what's right for you, what fulfills you in the business, what's going to give the best fucking service possible so that you can create a sustainable business. Because a business where people want to keep coming back, that's pretty solid. But a business where it's just all about that fucking revenue is not. It doesn't mean that it's being successful.
And people pick up on that. You're on a sales call and all you're interested in is the money. People are going to feel it. If you're there to be of service and to do what you got into coaching to do, they're going to feel that vibe, they're going to connect with that energy, and that's when your business will start to grow, and like in a real organic way that is totally aligned to you and is coming from a good place.
Yeah. So we always bring it back to, with our clients, you've got 2 choices. You can kind of approach this as a really steady growth and really track your figures, really understand what's going on financially, because ultimately that is the backbone of your business. But also be constantly aligning to what's right for you, how you want to serve, what you want to deliver, what your clients want, need, desire. And if you can keep doing that over a long period of time, what you're going to learn is phenomenal. And even if someone took that business away from you in some incident, then the knowledge that you've amassed in that time is fucking worth way more than any financial figure that you could put to it, because you can earn that back easily with all that knowledge that you've created. Or you can have this huge growth where you're completely unprepared for it, and honestly you haven't up-leveled yourself enough usually in order to really earn that money and actually hold on to it rather than having it just kind of come into the business and go straight back out the door. So again, ultimately it comes back to, why are you in this? One of the biggest things we get from people who've been with other coaching companies or in their own business for a while is this kind of getting lost from their cause, their purpose, their mission. And as soon as that gets diluted through the money stuff, through the, you know, focus on this growth element of the business as your success marker, nobody's fucking happy with that. So why are we still letting it rule us? So bring it back. What is important to you? What's going to make the difference? And allow that to evolve and grow. Keep that as your focus. And the money will come. And it'll come steadily over a period of time. And honestly, if you can learn to manage that money, that's going to do you way better than just shooting for these big fucking flashy numbers. So that is our take on how to overcome the instant money trap, and how you can really set yourself up for success in a way more sustainable way and in a way that allows your business to really flourish. So next episode, we're diving into why your coaching qualification doesn't set you up for running a business, the biggest shift that you're going to have in terms of shifting from being a coach to being a business owner, and how you can do that in a way that will allow you to do more good in the world. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Episode of she is also
It's fun.
Oh, sit back down, let me finish.
Just leave it somehow.
Okay. She said I'm your bitch. And this is Leanne Lisbon.
Hi.
And this episode is all about